Sixth contestant, Gray Medical Labs. Can we have the clicker, please?
Good afternoon, everyone. We are Gray Medical Labs. Oshore is one of our products. Oshore is also a subsidiary of Gray Medical Labs. We see that customers need a very trustable IoT device, healthcare technology device that solves their day-to-day problems related to their fitness and addresses some very major health hazards. So we are in the healthcare space. We are a technology product-based company. We envision to leverage wearable technology and bring about better quality of life. So we are borderline between lifestyle and healthcare. There are three major segments that our product aims to address. And the segments are in terms of age. So we are targeting infants, we are targeting adults, and we are targeting elderly people. Now, we are just 16 months old, and we have made substantial headway in these 16 months. Our next moves are going to be to complete the final version of our product. We already have our prototypes ready. We have just gone live on Indiegogo, which is a crowdfunding platform. We have been covered by the press. Now, coming to the health hazards that we are addressing. So, there are four actually. First being SIDS, the sudden infant death syndrome. So what happens out here is an infant dies within 1 year of their birth. And parents do not know why this is happening because the infant can't communicate with the parent. So we have our product which has been made in the form of a sock that can be fit into the leg of an infant, and we have analytic models that tell if the symptoms are in line with SIDS for the infant. Similarly, heart diseases are being addressed, as well as epilepsy and insomnia. So this is how our products look like. That's the Oshore sock. We have a wristband, which is for adults, and a chest strap for the elderly. Now, the reason why we went for these three different looking categories in our product line is the Oshore sock is pretty straightforward. So for adults, it's simple if they have a smart watch sort of a thing. For the elderly, we noticed that there may be many patients whose hands are, say, shaking when they are wearing a wearable device on their hands. So that might not give us proper data points. So we decided to go for a chest strap. So we realized that we are getting good data if the device is placed here along with the chest strap. Now, all of these devices communicate with an app that we are calling HealthSmart. And HealthSmart is not just a companion app for this. HealthSmart also aims to digitize a lot of, say you go to a hospital and you have a prescription that the doctor has written for you, and you go about collecting reports, getting different tests done. So we plan to digitize all that also, so that there is a single interface that can be used by both doctors as well as patients, and patients can take that data on their devices to the next hospital if they're going for a second consultation. How are we trying to reach out to customers? The digital marketing has the conventional internet marketing going on. We'll probably go for a TV commercial soon. Direct marketing is where we are going to tie up with hospitals and clinics. Tie up with pharmacies is also in the line. We have also tried to reach out to various distribution channels, and just yesterday, Govan Capital decided to come on board with us. The intended customer base, besides the direct customers who will be facing these health hazards, we think that clinics which might prefer remote monitoring of patients are also a very heavy potential customers. The value proposition that we are putting across is that we are giving constant alerts. It's a constant monitoring device of all the vital signs in your body. So that helps, and we have algorithms and intelligence built into the app that can intelligently determine if the symptoms are in line for a particular disease. It tracks sleep patterns of insomnia patients, infant care, something that very, very few companies have tried to address. It monitors your vitals constantly, and it's a true health companion because you can share your health data with your family, with doctors. Through the app, you can book appointments with doctors, you can chat with doctors, you can even find clinics and hospitals near you. What are our key drivers? So we have a proprietary knowledge and we have been seed funded. I would like to come to the cost structure. So our major cost has gone into R&D in the past 16 months, and the rest major half has gone into marketing. In terms of manufacturing and assembly, we are getting it done in Komadi, which is a suburb of Visakhapatnam. All right. What are the focus points that we see and the future of digital healthcare? We think that because we have a continuous monitoring of all patients, this would be very interesting to see how insurance companies react to this kind of data, because now they have many more data points. So they can intelligently decide to go for the insurance or not. Surge of awareness. There'll definitely be a surge of awareness in terms of people getting to know about what problems they're having upfront. We also think that there is a huge potential in controlling large-scale diseases on a state or a country level. And creation of new data sets will obviously propel more research. And that's it. Thank you. I'll call on Amar, one of our founders, who will also be taking the questions.
All right, open it up for questions.
Yeah, I had a question about your SIDS algorithm and how you tested that, and how do you know whether that's working or not?
What we have done so far is we have tested on one single infant, and we were able to figure out the heart rate and oxygen level, and we haven't gone for the clinical trials yet. That is the reason why we went ahead and trying to collaborate with Govind Capital, whose managing director has a good experience in healthcare ventures. So he is opening up doors for clinical trials in hospitals.
One thing I noticed about your devices is that they look like a lot of other wearable devices that are out on the market that can measure heart rate, can measure sleep quality, maybe not one that does SIDS, but there's many devices out there that would claim to do what your hardware can do. But it seems the thing that you've taken on here is a great deal of liability. So the first time you don't catch a child who has SIDS and the kid dies and your device didn't catch it, you're going to be in big trouble. And the same thing on maybe on the heart conditions, because you're taking a step more than most of the companies are taking to give advice. and when you give advice, you're taking responsibility. So how do you deal with that in your business model?
Sure. What we see here is we are a 7-month-old company, and we have just tried to finish up our second version, internal version of electronics. And what we see is that once the clinical trials are going to give us the results, accordingly we are going to tune our algorithms to have a better monitoring system and then move ahead into the market. That's one of the reasons why we are doing a pre-launch of our product in Indiegogo, a crowdfunding platform.
And you will do the clinical trial for all 3 segments or just the?
For the 3 segments.
Audience questions?
One more quick question here. Again, what on the heart, because again, I view this as just being a wearable device like everybody else's wearable device.
Yes.
So your value on the heart condition monitoring part is that you've got to tell them something. What are you going to recognize and tell somebody about their heart health?
Sure. What we have is one of the patients who has a heart problem, that is one of the valve has dilated, and we regularly see that he has high breathe problems, and we can see with the right instrument that the oxygen level is falling down, and the same thing we are able to detect with our instrument too. So what we see is that such kind of problems, we can address them by having a low oxygen level. When we see that there is a low oxygen level and there is a high heart rate, then we can definitely alert the consumer that there is a certain kind of problem that you are facing and you need to go to a doctor, or we can alert the near and dear ones and telling them that there is some problem that is going to occur. So we are at a nascent stage. Sure.
Quickly switch to the audience, one from there.
Right here.
Right here in the front. Can you have a mic here, please?
I can do without a mic.
Go ahead.
You mentioned digitizing the health data.
Yes.
Does it follow or comply with EHR standards?
We want to go for EMR and EHR, but at this kind of a stage where we are startups, we should not promise that. And as the funds keep coming in and investors coming in, we can promise that kind of a scenario. So we do have the aim to go in that direction, but at this stage, I will keep quiet. Yeah.
35 seconds.
Right here. So when you're looking to digitize your data, are you expecting the patients to upload data, or are you going to be tying up with hospitals, because each hospital has different systems, right?
Yes. So we have a different kind of a model here for HealthSmart. HealthSmart starts off with an app, and slowly it gets into the 10-bed to 15-bed clinics, where the data is going to is not going to be centralized. We won't hold the data because we are generally right now targeting India and US. So in US we cannot hold a central data of medical records. So we will give it to the hospitals and go ahead. So it's a distributed system.
Thank you. All right, again, for people that are coming in and going out, there's a card in front of you, and we're going to be giving out a Popular Choice Award. It's very important that you fill it out as you go out, or you can even leave it on the tables and we'll pick it up. So moving on to the last one on innovation, it's Doctor Assist.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Devarati, founder of Doctor Assist Cancer Care Intelligence Technologies. We are trying to solve the cancer care problem by developing an intelligent software that's going to run in the cloud. It's going to assist cancer care professionals like radiologists, pathologists, and oncologists during their diagnosis and treatment processes by delivering precise diagnosis and personalized cancer treatments for the patients. I got a small question for you. Do you know the casualties that have happened in the World War I? Anyone? Can you guess? Sorry? Yeah, I think I'll give one gift for you. Probably, right. If you see the statistics, what I'm talking about, by 2030 probably, the statistics what we are seeing are going to be reflected across the globe, which is nothing but we are going to see another world war coming in directly or indirectly towards us. But don't worry, we are going to be as saviors and we are going to save the world here. Right? And when it comes to the one of the aspect that what we are looking at is the cost is, right? It is almost touching 1.5 global GDP, which is a very whopping amount, so we have to be very careful there. We have seen a lot of issues when we are trying to analyze the problem where the issues are really happening, but we have really figured out 4 major problems here. There are 30% of diagnosis errors are happening, which is very dangerous. And if you see the standards-based treatments across the globe, only 60 to 70% of the doctors are following standards-based treatments. And we have very, very less care experts, which is very, very alarming. And overnight, it is very, very difficult process for us to produce care experts. And we are talking about number of doctors available. It's very, very scary. And I'm talking about this is about developed countries, and you can think about developing countries like us, and you can think about undeveloped countries. The situation is going to be worse. I found one of the doctor from Tanzania last week in a Global Cancer Summit. He claims that he's the only one oncologist across the country there. So now you can understand how severe the situation there. But if you observe the systems, I don't see much improvement in terms of cancer care for last 50 years. We have eradicated polio, and we are seeing significant results in terms of controlling the cardiac arrest, but the cancer still remains the same, even though there are slight improvements, but I don't think so there is tremendous progress there. That's why we are trying to come out with a software that's going to run in the cloud, where doctors can use it and perform the diagnosis through automation completely. It's a simple 3-step approach. Somebody wants to perform the diagnosis, either radiologist or pathologist, they can submit the images, and we are going to come out with the cancer diagnosis results instantly. That is a complete tumor story about shape, size, and the stage, etc. Once diagnosis is done, now I'm talking about the treatment. Now oncologist can use our software along with the output that what diagnosis has given out. He can frame out personalized cancer treatments which are specific to the patient, which are evidence-based and standards-based especially. That's where we are trying to see a lot of errors can be minimized, and we can save millions of lives there. And third aspect, what I'm talking about, discovering the medical knowledge. Out of 100 doctors, what we have, only 20% of them are experts. But on an average, to become an expert, doctor takes 20 years. But we wanted to reduce that. If a doctor can use our system and he can become an expert within 5 to 10 years, I think that's going to be an amazing aspect there. So the impact is going to be incredible here. Wanted to achieve 100% preciseness in terms of delivering the diagnosis and treatment. Wanted to reduce the price. If we could reduce 30% of the price, I think we are going to save billions of dollars there. And one of the aspects, what I'm talking about, performance here. If we could accelerate the doctor's performance, there's a difference here. We don't want to rush the doctor. There's a difference between acceleration and rushing there. If we could really amplify them, right, I think it's going to be huge impact in terms of treating the patient there. The last aspect, what I'm talking about, power. This is one of the goals that we have in our vision model. By probably next year, we wanted to give some power to the patient also, where patients can become as a participatory aspect of the system. Right? The value is, for the patient, is going to be affordability, accessibility, and quality. For the doctors, it's going to be amplification, accelerate their process, give the accessibility from anywhere, need not to be in metro cities. From anywhere across the globe, you can start using our software. And we wanted to transform cancer care centers to cancer care excellence centers. And we have been working with 2 hospitals, and we see there's going to be a lot of tremendous requirement for this sort of systems which we are foreseeing. I think probably next year we are going to have 2 more hospitals.
What do you do? Can you speak about what is it that you are doing?
Yeah. Yeah, can you run video 1? Yeah. I'll show.
Doctor Assist gives additional information and inputs to the doctors. If the doctor can give the clinical findings, the images what they have, they will be processed and proper diagnostic confirmation and staging can be given, and based on that proper treatment plans can be evolved from the system. An ideal solution can be given for the doctor at that place of work, and he can compare and implement as per his requirement, as per the needs of the patient. With that, they give uniform health care all over the country or the world.
Yeah.
And Dr.
Thank you.
Asif,
This is our team, and we have around 8 to 10 members team working on this, and we have another 2 years to make another next level of product here. But as of now, we are restricting with 5 to 6 cancer types, and we are in talks with a few more hospitals which are getting implemented in next couple of months. And we are trying to make it open through the cloud by March of next year. Thank you.
Let's open it up for questions from the judges first.
Yeah, that was a very exciting vision for
Thank you.
cancer.
Thank you.
But we're still completely confused as to what your company actually does and how it does it. So,
All right. So for the diagnosis, a radiologist can submit the images to the system. Let's say there is a mammography image, you can submit to our system. Our system does the analysis of the tumor and gives him the diagnosis reports. For an oncologist, if you could enter the input conditions, we are trying to come out with evidence-based treatment plan that has to be implemented for the patient, which is in terms of the personalization and specialized treatment.
Yeah, you had mentioned that of the number of cancer specialists in any particular city, about 20% of them were experts. The other ones really didn't have access to things. Why would you be any different?
Sorry, I didn't.
You had mentioned that the expertise for cancer diagnosis and the kinds of treatments that people do in any city, there's only 20% of people who are really familiar with that knowledge.
Expertise level, I'm talking, because a doctor takes minimum 20 years to be called as an
That's
expert.
right, but why would you be any different? Why would you be the 100% expert in this field?
Because we have so much intelligence that we are trying to feed to our system that not normal human brain can really ingest it, right?
I don't understand that actually.
We are trying to build an intelligent system that can become an expert like doctor, as better as an expert, cancer care intelligent professional. Right? Thank you.
All right, there was a lot of ideas packed one after the other, but we're going to have a quick test of how the neurons are firing in this room as the judges start to collate. This is so that you can put the name of your popular choice in this card, give it to that lady that's standing there. That's the only door through which you can exit. But here's a neuron test. I want the audience to tell me in the same sequence what were the startups that came up and spoke here. Number 1, CDL. Number 2, GUI. Number 3, Oxys. Tricog. BPL. Gray Medical. Doctor Assist. Okay, we don't need an app for neurology here, so we're all good in this room. So another small little announcement for those of you that want to win an iPad mini or a Kindle, please drop off your business cards in those fish bowls. You may have seen it. This is also a stretch for, for staying back till the end of to the same people. Okay, you can also give it to the people at the door. That's another option. The next step is right after you walk out, you have about 10 minutes before you assemble at the main. In 5 minutes, you assemble at the main hall. See you all there for the final announcements. Thank you.